This is Mr. Joe Dirt himself from the dirt racing. We've got Joey Christensen. Dude, this is the 14th year of this race. It just keeps getting bigger and better. We've got, you know, a lot of European drivers over here. What do you think has been the key to, you know, creating just an environment here? And really, this is a legacy. This thing's been around, you know, almost a decade and a half now.
Yeah, I don't know what the key is really. Just I always try my best to make sure that I do things that I think people would like, and I try to create an environment I think that is respectful to the racers. You know, try to give them what they want when they're spending their hard-earned money and making all the travel plans. I try to make sure the track is the best it can be, and the pits and the environment. And I think I have a good group of friends and a good group of guys that help me. That they're really upbeat, fun people that like to have a good time and like to make a good event. So I think that helps, having a good key group and just trying to do my best to make sure people have a fun time.
Now, this race has really evolved, especially in the last few years. We've gone from, you know, 2 classes when the race started. You know, now we're running on 3 different tracks. We've got, you know, electric, we've got nitro, we've got 5th scale gas cars. You know, we've got 40 over divisions, open, pro, and, you know, accordingly, we've got what, 700 entries this weekend?
I think there's closer to 850 this weekend.
Wow. So I mean, obviously, you know, the racing scene's growing, but, you know, everyone keeps coming back to the Nitro Challenge. Why do you think? You know, is it the track? Is it the competition, or is it everything?
I think it's a culmination of just a good racing environment. Like, you can spend $1 million on the fanciest club in LA, and next thing you know, everybody's hanging out at the dive bar next door just because it's got a good vibe. So I think we just try to create a good vibe, you know. And from the beginning, people said you should have a race, and I said okay. And they said you should have this class, and I said okay. I think I really just do it because people want to do it, and they just keep coming back.
You know, I was really spoiled growing up racing RC cars because I got to run at your old track in Hemet, which is where this race started. Now we're at the 3rd different facility that this race has been to, and all 3 of them, I mean, the track is always the talk of the event, and you know, it just always keeps people coming back. How tough is it to keep coming up with new ways to, you know, keep the racers excited, keep them entertained, and I mean, just create a great layout that's, you know, fun to drive on?
It's if I stay out of it, it's easy because I don't really have any plans for any tracks that they make. I just go out there and just start making it. You know, I'm an art guy, and I was a painter and a sculptor, and it's just like making a painting. You know, if you don't really have you have a rough idea possibly, but then when you get out there, you just realize, you know, on this part of this canvas should be this and this should be that, and next thing you know, when it's all said and done, I'm like, oh wow, there's an awesome track. And sometimes I get done, I'm like, oh, where's the straightaway? And I said, obviously there's not supposed to be a straightaway because I didn't make a straightaway.
So the tractor is your paintbrush then? Sure,
yeah, it just comes out. I mean, just sometimes I stress about it, thinking, oh man, I wonder how it's going to turn out. I hope it comes out okay. And then I think, you know, I built a lot of tracks in my lifetime, and they all seem to come out pretty good. And I just have faith that just do what I do, and I got to be in it to win it. And so I just show up, get myself on that tractor, I start going at it, and that's how it turns out.
And you've got, you know, your son here is always helping you. You've got a core group of your friends that are, you know, here helping you at every race that you put on.
Yep.
And you know, accordingly, we end up with a very well organized program. So how important is it to have, you know, that core group of people that have been helping you for so long, just helping to keep the program moving?
It's awesome. They're almost like, you know how you can yell at your brother, and you can yell at your siblings and get really mad at them and get all, and then you're still family. At the end of the day, you still sit down and eat dinner, and I think that really helps in such a stressful situation. We have so many people. You can bark orders, you can get upset, you can say, do this. Well, you told me to do that. Yeah, do that too, and I want them both done now. Like, they know that we're all joined together in a good cause, and it's for fun ultimately. It's not do or die here. We're here to have a good time and make sure we put on a fun race. So even though it gets stressful, they're my good friends, and they know that deep down we're all in together to have a fun time. At the end of the day, we sit down, we eat dinner, we give each other hugs, tell each other we love each other, and we just get ready for tomorrow.
And you know, the other thing that everyone always talks about at the Dirt Nitro Challenge are the Dirt Girls.
Yeah.
I mean, this race has always had just a really beautiful group of trophy girls every time. I mean, is that just kind of a, you know, maybe started as a novelty thing, but now, I mean, you know, the group keeps growing, and they seem to really like being around here and all the attention, right?
Yeah. You know, as corny as it sounds, I do think that's important. I think when you're a week long with a whole bunch of guys all week long, like, it gets, nothing's nicer than, you know, having some ladies around that are friendly to talk to besides your buddy who's just talking about RC cars. It's good to have a change of pace. It's nice to have, you know, something to mix it up, and it just lightens the mood a little bit. If you had a really bad race and you broke your car and everything's bad, and one of the dirt girls comes over and says, "Tell me about your car, what happened to it?" You know, it's not so bad anymore. So I think it's important.
And you know, we're on day 2 here of 5. We had a little bit of weather issues, obviously, on practice day, and that's really something that's kind of hit this race a lot. I mean, like we said, it's been at 3 different tracks. All 3 have had crazy weather problems.
Yeah.
But every time you guys just end up working through it, and you know, the track ends up being great. So what do you think about the fact that your race, it doesn't matter what weekend you hold it or where, you get hit with crazy weather every time?
Yeah, you know, when it's all said and done, I write it in as it's part of how it should be, because obviously it was that way, and I never get upset about it because it's already done, and apparently it should rain, and we just make the rain work with us. And normally, and almost every time, it really makes the track solid. It doesn't come apart. We don't ever have to fix one pothole on the track for the last like, it's a huge track. You don't see us put 1 ounce of dirt in a pothole because all that rain makes it solid. And you know, for me, that's good. It's less work. I mean, it's a little bit of work in the beginning, and just makes for a great race week, I think.
Yeah, something that you actually told me a couple years ago that I thought was hilarious. You know, the track is always really tricky. It has this race always has some of the most competitive racing of any race throughout the year. Yeah. And you've told me one time, it's like, well, we don't call it the Nitro Easy.
That's true. Yeah, you know, I really cater. I like all the racers, but to me, being able to showcase the best in the world is my goal. Like, I want everybody to be here and have a fun part of being close shoulders with all the pros, all the European guys. And when it's time to race, it's cool to see that track come alive with the best in the world. And they just make that track look beautiful and amazing. They hit every jump right. They hit a full speed every time. Every section starts to work right. You know, it brings a smile to my face because I make it so I can see the track smiling, really. When the guys that aren't that great and they're tumbling the track, you know, I can see it being not so happy. When those pro guys hit that thing for the A-main, the track is as happy as can be. Sounds corny, but I feel that way.
Yeah, well, it makes sense. This is Joey Christensen from the Dirt Racing. He's the reason that we're all here. And thank you for the interview. Congratulations on another fantastic event.
Thanks, Aaron.